Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this session of The Hypnotist, you'll be listening to a hypnosis session designed to help a client lose weight. And one of the things that I found is one of the single most important ingredients to helping someone to lose weight is that they've got a compelling vision for their future as to what it means for them to be the shape that they want to. And in this particular client's case, she had an upcoming holiday. She knew exactly where that holiday was going to be. It was a villa in the mountains by the side of a pool. And therefore, she wasn't at the weight that she wanted to be in the present that she would want to be at that holiday. So there's an element of manipulating time, playing with time so that she gets to visit a future as the version of her that she would want to be. And the reason why a compelling vision of the future is so important is because a lot of unconscious choices align with the vision of ourself that we expect ourselves to be. And that's why changes at the identity level are so important, because people will make choices in the moment, unconscious the majority of the time, that will either take them towards or avoid anything that could take them off track, that kind of future that they expect for themselves. I see this a lot with clients that I work with that manage to lose a lot of weight for their wedding day because they think about that day a lot and they think about how they want to look in that dress surrounded by the people that they love. And therefore they can get into a highly resourceful state simply with no hypnosis involved, but simply by thinking of that particular day. And they look at themselves like they're someone else and they look at the shape that they want to be. That gets you in a much more resourceful state than if you're criticizing and shaming yourself to lose weight or going on a diet simply because it's something that you feel that you should do. And the reason that a compelling vision of the future helps so much is that it gives an opportunity for a choice. Do you eat that snack, or do you think about the future version of you that you want to be? And then you link the two together and you say, well, that snack isn't going to help me to become that person. And that helps with making really positive choices. Obviously, this client had a very specific vision of their future, but I do find it's very useful for anyone that wants to change their body shape to have an absolute clarity as to who they want to be and to activate the resources to make that happen. So if you are curious about exploring that for you, there will be a link in the show notes that you can book a free 30-minute consultation call to explore what it would be like to work with me. For now, though, find a quiet place, ideally a place that you won't be disturbed and there's no real background noise. Just relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a calm feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, that's it, close your eyes. And continue to breathe in and breathe out, noticing that the slower you breathe, the more relaxed you feel. And the more relaxed you feel, the more that you can extend your outward breath, enabling that outward breath to perhaps be 2 or 3 times longer than it normally is, enabling you to really exhale so that the next breath in is deeper than it normally would be. As you breathe in, I want you to imagine that you're breathing in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. feel that resourceful feeling going in through your nose into your lungs. And then as you exhale, feelings of tension, stress, and anxiety are just leaving your body in your outward breath, enabling you to go deeper and deeper relaxed. And the more relaxed you go, the more you can become aware of any remaining tension. For many people, remaining tension exists somewhere in the face, perhaps around the eyes, the forehead, the jaw, or maybe around the neck and the shoulders. And as you become aware of any echoes of tension, on the next outward breath, just decide to release that tension, enabling you to feel deeper and deeper relaxed. Now, as your body relaxes, I want you to imagine that your imagination itself is a gateway between your conscious and your unconscious mind. There's been times that you've had good ideas that just came from nowhere, or times that a relevant memory popped into your head and it was useful in order for you to make a decision. Sometimes you've had a gut feeling about something that was not quite right, and by paying attention to that gut intuition, it helped you avoid something undesirable. And therefore, you're able to tap into the power of your subconscious mind even without hypnosis. So with hypnosis, you can tap into that feeling, that ability, even more powerfully. I want you to dive deep into your unconscious mind and locate a memory of a time that you were in maybe a villa or apartment up in the mountains, a time when you were next to a pool. And I want you to imagine that you're back there around that pool. And maybe it's warm and you can feel the sun on your skin. Maybe you're surrounded by beautiful scenery. And I want you to notice that there is a lounger by the pool. And imagine making yourself comfortable on that lounger. Maybe seeing the sun reflect off the surface of the water in the pool. Maybe there's a gentle breeze. Maybe there's a smell, a scent in the air that lets you know exactly where you are. And here in this place, you're able to go even deeper relaxed. You're there alone. And I want you to get a sense that as you feel like you're resting on that sun lounger, you can truly deeply relax. In fact, I'm going to count down from 10 to 1, and with each descending number, you will feel deeper and deeper relaxed. 10, focusing on the muscles around your eyelids, eyebrows and eyes. Breathing in a resourceful feeling of relaxation, and then exhaling that tension. Just letting it go. 9, focusing on the muscles in your forehead. Those muscles responsible for concern or surprise. Breathe in that resourceful feeling of relaxation and just exhale that tension. Almost see the tension leaving your body. 8, focusing on the muscles in your jaw. All the way up to your ears, around your nose. And release that tension. That's it. And then 7, focusing now on the muscles in your neck and the tops of your shoulders, considered by many to be the bank account of stress. But here on this sun lounger by this pool up in the mountains, you don't need any stress. So allow it to melt away in the sun until there's nothing left. 6, focusing now on the muscles in your arms. Arms feeling limp, loose, heavy, all the way down to the tips of your fingers, enabling you to really deeply relax. That's it. 6 goes into 5 as you now focus on your diaphragm, your lungs, and how your breathing is becoming more relaxed. So relaxed that even your internal organs relax. Imagine your heart relaxing. Imagine your stomach relaxing. Your lungs relax all the way to your diaphragm and then into your gut. As 5 becomes 4 and you go even deeper relaxed. Any feelings of anxiety there in your gut just melt away, just disappear. 3 now going into your legs. Legs feeling limp, loose, heavy, that's it. So relaxed. There on that sun lounger with your eyes closed, feeling deeper and deeper relaxed, feeling like you could drift off into a dream. 2 all the way down to your feet. So much so that even your feet, your ankles, your toes can even relax. That's it. And then 1, just imagine what it would be like to fall asleep there on that sun lounger by that pool in a villa by the mountains now. And in this dream, I want you to imagine you are now in control of a new version of you. I want you to imagine that almost you have the remote control of this new version of you. And this new version of you are taking them in a direction where they make incredible choices to improve their health and their life. I want you to imagine that you observe as that new version of you wakes up in the morning, perhaps where something's changed. You can see their facial expressions look slightly different. I want you to imagine they don't do the normal routine of having breakfast at the normal time. They've decided to eat later. So observe them. Maybe having a glass of water, a healthy tea, and then see just how busy they've planned their day across that morning. One of the best ways to deal with hunger is to be so busy you don't even realize you're hungry. And haven't there been times in your life you've been so immersed in something you've just forgotten to eat? And then it's later on that day and then you realize that you haven't eaten all day, but you didn't realize because you were immersed in something. So observe this version of you being immersed, being busy, being so active. And then you notice that it arrives at about midday, 12 o'clock, and then see that new version of you eating a healthy porridge. Notice that it's a smaller portion than normal, but not by too much. Just slightly smaller than it normally would be. And notice that you're seeing yourself eating it slowly, deliberately, enjoying that meal at that time. And notice you're left feeling full. Your stomach is shrinking, and therefore less food is required to feel full. And then see yourself perhaps being occupied with something else, completely forgetting about food. And then maybe it's about 4 p.m. and see yourself making a meal. Not just snacking, but preparing a meal. It might be a small meal, but it is a meal nonetheless. And see that you're enjoying that meal. It's got healthy, natural ingredients, and it's more than enough again to satisfy that appetite. as it's 4 p.m. and now you've had 2 small meals, the porridge at midday and then this second meal at 4 p.m. Then observe that at around 5 p.m. there is no hunger at all on the expressions of this person that you're watching. Just you, seemingly in control, making good choices. And maybe you've seen yourself that day being more active, maybe going to the gym or going for a walk. And I want you to see that this version of you knows that there's a part of you that simply doesn't care about your desire to lose weight. There is a part of you that doesn't desire to the same level these wonderful plans you have for your future. So it's really important that we make it so that that part won't desire the things it has desired. So then see yourself with the kind of things that you used to snack on, doing creative things to make you no longer desire them. That might be choosing to sneeze on particular foods, wiping them on the inside of a toilet, rubbing them on the floor. I want you to think of the most disgusting places there are in your home, and just knowing that if food was connected with those surfaces or that environment, you would have no desire to eat that food. So see that version of you sabotaging that selfish part that will eat even if it is not aligned with your longer term goals. And then observe perhaps on another day when echoes of old cravings come back and you can look at that food and simply not want it. And that's all it takes sometimes to break a pattern and to give back control. As you then observe that version of you having an evening meal, perhaps around 7 o'clock or 7:30, and notice how much more you enjoy that meal when it hasn't been spoiled by snacking in between. You've observed yourself have 3 enjoyable meals, but still eat less than you normally would in an average day. But also making great choices and really enjoying the food when you eat it. And then perhaps observe yourself just before you go to sleep. And maybe you observe yourself feeling hungry. And then observe that version of you smiling. Because that version of you knows that going to sleep hungry is the single most effective way of training your body to burn fat. Because when you go to sleep hungry, your body needs to find energy from a different source. And that source of energy will be your own body fat. So observe as you see yourself sleeping, knowing that you're burning body fat, not in a gym, but while you're sleeping. And that your body is continuing to burn body fat all the way around until midday the following day. And I want you to observe this happening day after day after day. You're getting into a routine. Less and less willpower and discipline is needed because you've just found a rhythm. You eat later, you eat better quality, you eat slower. And as the days turn into weeks and weeks turn into months, you notice the weight naturally and healthily going away, and what you lose in body fat, you gain in confidence. And follow that version of you all the way up until August, when that version of you, which is much slimmer now, is visiting a villa in the mountains. And I want you to follow that version of her until she's by a pool, wearing a bikini, receiving the compliments of maybe friends or family members that she hasn't seen in a while. Observe that version of you looking proud and accomplished, feeling confident and healthy. And then step into that version of you. Enjoy that feeling that you get from knowing that you've worked for something, that you've earned something. And it all came down to simple, healthy choices repeated over time. And then notice as you look around the pool, you can see someone that looks like you from 7 months before, the weight you used to be. And then realize that you got from that version to your version simply by making good choices consistently. You didn't need to be perfect. You didn't need to go to the gym every day. But just making healthy choices on a regular basis enabled this incredible transformation where you feel healthy and confident. I want you to take all of those resources and those strategies, all those things that you would do differently, and then climb back into that version of you that is lying on a sun lounger. So you're now the weight that you were back then, but you take all of that resources and knowledge, habits and rhythm with you, so that when you awake, you will awaken feeling an insatiable desire to make tiny changes that you can stick to and keep testing until you get to a level that you're happy. As you realize that all of this is just thoughts within thoughts, ideas within ideas, dreams within dreams, as you imagine now that you're no longer by the side of a pool, you're back in the present right now, listening to my voice, but taking those new associations, those new beliefs, those new strategies with you. Absolutely clear that a few months from now, you'll be wearing a bikini by a pool, feeling healthy and feeling confident. And the more healthy choices you make, the more of that confidence you will experience in advance of that future version of you. I'll now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling resourceful, inspired, with a desire to make immediate progress on these changes. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.